On October 1st, 2013, the United States government shut down for 16 days. Our government shut down because Congress was unable to develop a compromise bill by September 30th. This really translates into Democrats and Republicans acted as childish as kindergartners. They could not play nice, they could not get along, and they could not keep their hands to themselves. In fact, America is more ideologically divided than ever before. 92% of Republicans are to the right of the median or average Democrat, while 94% of Democrats are to the left of the average Republican. Furthermore, 27% of Democrats see the Republican Party as a threat to our nation's well-being, while 36% of Republicans see Democrats as a threat to our nation's well-being. America is more divided than ever before, say, the Civil War. But there's also a growing cause to end domestic violence in the United States now, too. And for good reason. 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. 25% of women. And let's not forget their male counterparts. 3 million men will suffer through domestic violence each year in the United States alone. Now, domestic violence is usually a multitude of problems centralized around one idea or problem. And one of these ideas or problems can be political views, or more specifically, opposing, clashing political views. In relationships where there is a clashing of political views, such as a Democrat and Republican, there are many negative outcomes and effects on the people and the relationship, such as domestic violence. A reason why there's negative effects in these relationships is because in human beings, opposites do not attract. It's been proven, actually, that we as human beings search for someone who has similar beliefs, morals, ethics, values, and attitudes/personality. Psychology today states we prefer consistency in our desires, thoughts, and attitudes. Basically, and simply stated, we look for someone similar to us. Now, not only is domestic violence an outcome of these relationships, but also is time length. In a recent Kansas State University study, it's found that those who date someone who has opposing political views than them, they have an average relationship length 41% shorter than those who date people who have similar views to their own. Those who date people who have different views had a relationship lasting around 2.39 years on average, and those who dated people who have similar political views had an average relationship length of 5.89 years. Big difference. But not only are those two parties affected by a time limit or domestic violence by that, but also the children in the relationship can be affected. In divorce, when there's a divorce, a child who suffers through it has a 2 times higher chance of dropping out of high school than a child whose parents are still together. Also, children who go through a divorce, even 6 years later after the divorce, tend to be more lonely, anxious, insecure about themselves, and even overall less happy than other children. So the divorce not only affects the parents, but also the children, and can ultimately ruin the child's life. That's why when you consider dating someone who is different than you, I think you should consider the famous Groucho Marx words when he says, "All people are born alike, except Republicans and Democrats."
Mm.
Yeah.